I think every adult in America should take curcumin every single day. And I do not
Yeah.
say that about very many nutrients, but I say that about curcumin because of how we started this
Mm.
conversation. There is nothing that touches all three prongs of the aging process and the development of chronic diseases as broad spectrumly, if that's a word,
Hmm.
as does curcumin.
Yeah.
And you get a curcumin that has enhanced absorption, and you get a curcumin that also has that turmeric essential oil, which adds additional health benefits, and the results can be amazing.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 28 of the Healthy Habit Podcast. We're talking with a good friend of ours who's been with us since the Healthy Habit Radio days, but her first time on the new platform here on the podcast. Ms. Cheryl Myers, the Chief of Scientific Affairs for EuroPharma, Inc., is a healthcare professional with certifications in cancer, pain control, and issues of aging. She's an expert in dietary supplements and natural medicines who's been a featured guest on hundreds of radio and television shows. Cheryl's been interviewed by the New York Times, Prevention Magazine, the Wall Street Journal as well. Welcome to episode number 28, Cheryl. How are you doing since we last
I
spoke?
am doing great. Spring is trying to spring up here in sunny Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we're just barely starting to see some green come back. So,
Yeah.
yeah, nice. And the snow is all melting.
Oh
It's a
my
good
goodness.
day.
It's getting beautiful, isn't it?
It sure is.
Cheryl, you're the Chief of Scientific Affairs for EuroPharma. The first time we're talking EuroPharma on the podcast. So give our listeners a little kind of segue into this company and why is it so special and unique? You know, our customers love the Terry Natural EuroPharma family. So give us a little background on EuroPharma.
Absolutely. Well, the founder and president of our company is Terry Lemerond. And Terry Lemerond is, sometimes I think this word is overused, but it really fits in his case. He is truly a legend in this
Yeah.
industry. And he launched a company many years ago named Enzymatic Therapy and grew that into $100+ million company by the turn of the century and decided that it was time for him to move on and do other things. While he was there, he introduced glucosamine sulfate to the United States. He introduced the concept of botanical standardization, all these first. So, really known as a great science based company. When I talk about Terry, I say the only thing he ever failed at was retirement because he started to, he was originally going to work with European companies to help them find a home for their clinically studied products in the US, but he found that he really liked to formulate his own products more and work more directly. So he launched this company, which is EuroPharma, hence the name Euro. Many, but not all of our ingredients come from Europe. And so we've been in business, gosh, 15 years or so now. And Terry has brought some amazing products to market, including our curcumin, which we'll be talking about today. But the thing I appreciate about working with him, and by the way, Terry is still our president and is still in the office every morning before I ever get here. And so he's a walking poster boy for natural
Wow.
health. But the thing I appreciate is it's science based. The products are not sold because you can save $2 and it's not $2 less than the next one. It's not sold because it's a pretty container. It's not sold because of an exotic story or because
Mm,
of some celebrity endorsement. He always looks, what is the science and what does the science say, and are there human clinical studies, and how's this going to behave in the person's body? So
right.
I, being from the world of science myself and working in mainstream medicine for so many years, am very, very attracted to finding pathways to health that are clinically validated, even if they are not necessarily, quote, in mainstream medicine. There's so much we can offer people.
As you mentioned there, Terry really is the true definition of a legend, right? It's just amazing what he's done with the company, and they continue to produce and just put out really fantastic products backed by research. So let's dive into CuraMed Plus clinical OPC. I want to start there. First time talking CuraMed here on the podcast format, Cheryl, and you're the best person to do that with. So go ahead.
All right. Well, CuraMed is our premier curcumin product. It is the number one best-selling curcumin brand in the independent health food store world, according to SPINS data. And for a reason, it's because it's also the most clinically studied enhanced absorption curcumin in the world. So CuraMed that curcumin has been used in over 40 published human studies, over 85 studies overall on a wide variety of applications. Curcumin is one of the most powerful natural medicines in the world today, but it doesn't absorb very well.
Mm.
So I always, when I'm talking to patients or when I'm talking to consumers, start with turmeric. Turmeric is an amazing food and a wonderful spice. It is not the medicine. So when you eat turmeric, and I hope you do if you like it, you are getting tiny amounts of curcumin in your body every day, and that's excellent. But if you're trying to use it as a medicine, you would have to take 200 to 500 capsules
Right.
of turmeric to get the
Hmm.
amount of curcumin you get from one of our CuraMed curcumins.
Mm.
So the enhanced absorption uses a patented system of turmeric essential oil, where each flake of curcumin is embedded with a tiny little bit of essential oil. And these two together not only boost absorption about 700%, but the turmeric essential oil itself has additional health benefits. It's anti-tumor, it's an antioxidant, and it's anti-inflammatory. So when we talk about our CuraMed family of products, we're talking about an enhanced absorption curcumin where a little bit goes a long way. And also, it's really a combo product. Even though we say it's a curcumin product, it's not. It's curcumin plus turmeric essential oil put together
Mm.
in a unique formulation that
Mm.
really provides some amazing health benefits, whether it's for pain or inflammation, or there's studies on our curcumin with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, cognitive changes associated with aging. There's studies on our curcumin with major depressive disorder,
Hmm.
including one compared to fluoxetine, where fluoxetine is, by the way, the generic of Prozac, worked as well without the adverse effects. So a lot of really lovely science behind how you can use this curcumin to achieve your health goals. Curcumin touches every prong associated with aging and the development of chronic disease. So when we look at the three main factors that are associated with the aging process itself and also the damage it leads to chronic disease is number one, oxidative stress.
Mm.
That's when our bodies are exposed to free radicals. Those free radicals go run amok in our body and they steal electrons and they can damage DNA. Number two, chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is an incredible stressor on the body. Chronic inflammation promotes cancer cell development. It promotes a whole host of diseases. Number three, lack exposure to toxins or lack of proper detoxification activity in the body. So when you look at all three of those, curcumin plays a role in every single one. Number one, it is a super potent antioxidant. Number two, it is the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory out there. And number three is it promotes liver health and increases bile production.
Hmm.
And bile is something that I call the toxin taxi cab,
Oh.
because when your liver grabs those toxins out of your bloodstream, whatever those toxins might be, it dissolves them in bile, it puts them in the taxi cab and sends them out through the intestines to scoot along out of the body. If you don't have enough taxi cabs, you can't move a lot of toxins. So when you look at just basic concepts as far as putting together a protocol that gives you the best chance of being able to go tap dancing on your 99th birthday, the lead ingredient needs to be our CuraMed curcumin. But you mentioned that the product that's a combination of our curcumin plus clinical OPC, which is a grapeseed extract. Grape seeds contain compounds called OPC, that stands for oligomeric proanthocyanidins.
So,
I
okay.
don't know.
Say
I
that
don't
five
know.
times quick.
Say that five times, right? I don't know who comes up with these names. A
Uh-huh.
lot easier to say OPCs. Those are the heavy lifters. Uh, this is an amazing product because the OPCs can come in a variety of sizes. So when I'm talking to patients or when I'm talking to consumers, I say, think about dogs. Dogs can be Great Danes, and they're still a dog. Dogs can be Chihuahuas, and they're still a dog. If you call the dog and you're calling a Great Dane, there's no way that Great Dane's going to squeeze through the doggy door.
Right.
But if you call a Chihuahua, a whole pack of Chihuahuas can come through the doggy door.
Mm-hmm.
So every single OPC in our clinical OPC grapeseed product is a Chihuahua. They are 100% standardized to be a small molecular weight so that they have 100% absorbability. The largest OPCs are called tannins. They do not hurt anyone, but they cannot be absorbed. They're Great Danes. They're still OPCs, but they're not useful for you. So that's why it's important to have a tannin-free product. When
Got
I
it.
talked about the three prongs of developing chronic disease and the aging process itself, um, grapeseed also touches every one of them, but it does so a little differently. Curcumin is a super potent antioxidant. Grapeseed extract is a super potent antioxidant.
Hmm.
It is a water soluble antioxidant that has an ORAC value, oxygen radical absorbance capacity, of measured at around 2.1 million. The same amount of strawberries, for example, is about 6,000 ORAC.
Mm-hmm.
Dark chocolate powder, about 40,000 ORAC. Same amount of our grapeseed extract, about 2 million ORAC. So it's
Wow.
super powerful antioxidant. It also has some anti-inflammatory activity, although not as strong as curcumin's, but it's a stronger antioxidant than curcumin. And last but not least, it also plays a role in helping with healthy liver cell regeneration. We regenerate our liver cells every single day. So they both touch every one of those prongs associated with chronic disease and aging, but they do so in a slightly different way, even though they're both powerhouses. I jokingly say that if we gave every kid who graduated from high school a CuraMed plus clinical OPC and they started taking one every single day, we would probably,
Hmm.
on average, add 10 years to the lifespan.
Unbelievable. Great breakdown there, Cheryl. On I was going to ask you about the French grapeseed extract there and the ORAC value per 100 grams. You said 2.1 million ORACs per. Compare that to a cup of blueberries, right? Which is it's incredible the amount there. And can you quickly differentiate? This question has come up a lot here in the store on confusion between grapeseed extract and grapefruit seed extract. Do you have any
Oh,
thoughts on that?
yes, I'm so glad you brought that up because they do get mistaken, don't
Right.
they? So grapefruit is, of course, a different fruit entirely. It's a citrus fruit. It can be pink, it can be white, great big globular citrus fruit. The seeds of grapefruit have different compounds. Grape seed is are from grapes. In fact, our grapes are from the wine industry. It's from France. It's from the wine industry in France. So very premium grapes to begin with. Different compounds found in grape seeds.
Okay.
In grape seeds are a group of these polyphenols, the most important of which are the OPCs we spoke about. No
Hmm.
OPCs whatsoever in grapefruit seed
Interesting.
extract.
Cool.
I've also been asked about cooking with grapeseed oil. If you want to have that, however, you're not going to get these OPC compounds in the oil.
In the oil. Hmm.
Right.
That's where you need the extract specifically
Yes.
to get the numbers you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So then, how does one know whether they should start with the CuraMin, the CuraMed? Then there's the extra strength option, and then there's even the clinical OPC, the grapeseed extract we just discussed. So, what's a good starting point for somebody?
Well, the truth of the matter is there's a lot of overlap because these are some
Yeah.
pretty powerful compounds and they have some similar ingredients. But if you made me put them in little boxes, I would say number one, if you're looking for prevention, and as I said, being able to tap dance when you're 99 years old, if you're looking at ongoing care for your body to help prevent chronic disease, I would do with the combo. I would do the CuraMed and the clinical OPC because that combination product, you've got a fat soluble antioxidant, a water soluble antioxidant. It goes everywhere and does everything. That is my favorite prevention product. When we look at CuraMin, CuraMin is designed for pain. So when you are
Oh, okay.
in pain, CuraMin has four ingredients, each of which addresses pain from a different perspective. So you've got curcumin, which is a super potent anti-inflammatory. You have a uniquely standardized Boswellia that's about 10 times more powerful than garden variety Boswellia that addresses 5-LOX inflammation, which no over the counter pain reliever addresses. And then you've got DLPA, an amino acid that's a component of protein that helps keep your endorphins and enkephalins active longer, your body's own natural painkillers, and a little sprinkle of nattokinase in order to help facilitate microcirculation to get those nutrients to the joint. So when people are in pain, I recommend CuraMin or CuraMin Extra Strength because of the componentry that helps them, especially when it comes to joint issues. Now, if people are dealing with sudden onset pain, fell down the stairs, fell off my bicycle, menstrual cramps, headache, sunburn,
Hmm.
that kind of a sudden onset pains. I like the CuraMed acute pain because it's our fastest product. It is the same fantastic ingredients that curcumin and boswellia, both of which are unique and much more powerful, but it's in a whipped sesame seed oil system that suspends the molecules in such a way that after you take the quick dissolve liquid gel, it hits your bloodstream a lot faster.
Huh.
So most people feel a difference within a half hour of using the CuraMed acute pain. So it's really, a lot of people love it. It's also in a soft gel, very easy to swallow, much smaller. So I always say, if for people that are dealing more with joint issues or itises, whatever that itis might be, they might lean towards CuraMin or CuraMin Extra Strength. Sudden onset acute pain, we really like the CuraMed acute pain. And if they are dealing with prevention and
Hmm.
staying healthy, then I love the CuraMed plus clinical OPC. And if people are looking at curcumin, the natural medicine, I would point them to our CuraMed family of products that has, as I said, over 40 published human trials, over 85 trials altogether.
Wow. Say that last stat again. How many trials?
Over 40 human studies.
Yeah.
And altogether, when you take in animal studies and molecular studies and genomic kinds of studies, it's up to over 85 studies now.
On the CuraMed. And by the way, we'll have this all in the show notes below in the description box. We're going to differentiate them. Thanks for helping us do that, Cheryl, with the CuraMed, like medicine. Then there's the CuraMin, like minimum, CuraMin. And it just depends on what you're looking for, folks. Like you said, pain, think CuraMin. And then CuraMed's giving you all those published studies, which is even more superior absorption than if you're just doing simply turmeric, right? Like you said, you'd have to do
Mhm.
a full
Hundreds and
200,
hundreds
yeah,
of capsules.
to
Yes.
match the amount you're getting in a CuraMed. So actually, it says it here in the description that I pulled up. One CuraMed soft gel provides curcumin levels equivalent to up to 500 capsules of turmeric, even.
Mhm.
So unbelievable. And then you chose to support it with other nutrients. For example, in the CuraMin formula for pain relief, we added Boswellia in there, right? Why specifically Boswellia chosen as opposed to maybe frankincense or
Mhm.
other supportive nutrients?
Well, it turns out that inflammation is not one thing. Inflammation is a group of things. So when you say inflammation, people think it's one thing, but it's like ice cream. I
Yes,
do a lot of analogies to help my patients understand the differences
that's
here.
good.
So when you say ice cream, you get a general idea of what's going on, but you don't know if it's chocolate or vanilla. You don't know if it's vegetarian or coconut milk ice cream. You don't know if it's sherbet. You don't know if it's gelato. So in our bodies, we have a variety of different kinds of inflammation. They're all different flavors. Traditional inflammation is chocolate and vanilla. Those are the enzymatic pathways that are activated in the most common kinds of inflammation. However, there is a weird pistachio over in the corner. It's called 5-lipoxygenase inflammation. And
Hmm.
5-LOX inflammation is something that is not always manifested when people have some kind of inflammatory disorder, but sometimes it's very prominently associated. So when we look at 5-LOX inflammation, you're looking at things like lung inflammation, gut inflammation, like your intestinal diseases that have to do with inflammation, and joint diseases. Because when we look at a lot of arthritis, especially gouty arthritis and psoriatic arthritis, they have high levels of 5-LOX inflammation. They have high levels of pistachio, even though they also have chocolate and vanilla.
Right.
There is no over the counter drug that touches 5-LOX inflammation.
Wow.
There's prescription. When you take steroids wipe out 5-LOX inflammation. That's why so often when people have asthma or COPD or
Mm-hmm.
Crohn's disease or colitis, they're put on steroids. It's because nobody says take 2 ibuprofen and call me in the morning.
Right.
It's not that flavor of inflammation. So, as you know, steroids might save your life in the short run, but you cannot survive using them every single day for the rest of your life. The side effects are just too devastating. They're too dangerous because they don't just wipe out 5-LOX inflammation, they wipe
Yeah.
out everything.
Wow.
So, when you find an herbal that has high levels of specificity and activity, against pistachio, against the 5-LOX pathway.
Mm-hmm.
That is a real jewel. So
Right.
that's why we put that together with our curcumin and our pain products, is that even though curcumin is the best all around anti-inflammatory, even though curcumin touches every single pathway of inflammation in the body, it doesn't touch the 5-LOX very strongly. And so when you put Boswelia together with it, now you really have a
Wow.
profound impact on every single inflammatory stream in the body. And the difference can be startling to people, where they think, who knew that just, people don't think that herbal products can be very strong, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
they try this combination and they're like, who knew that this could
Wow.
work so brilliantly?
Let's say you have to give someone an elevator pitch on why a human being may benefit from including curcumin. Whether forget about right now CuraMin, CuraMed, clinical OPC versions, just in general, why should someone consider? What's a good take home on of incorporating more turmeric slash curcumin into their lifestyle?
I think every adult in America should take curcumin every single day. And I do not
Yeah.
say that about very many nutrients, but I say that about curcumin because of how we started this
Mm.
conversation. There is nothing that touches all three prongs of the aging process and the development of chronic diseases as broad spectrumly, if that's a word,
Hmm.
as does curcumin.
Yeah.
And you get a curcumin that has enhanced absorption, and you get a curcumin that also has that turmeric essential oil, which adds additional health benefits, and the results can be amazing. It helps with enormous amounts of issues with inflammation, and America is awash in a sea of inflammations. It helps with blood sugar balance of people that are struggling with their blood sugars. I think we could play a game if we had a whole day. We could play a game of finding a disease that curcumin didn't help.
Mm.
I don't think we could do it. I think we could make a good argument for its use in any problem that a person might be encountering.
One of my more recent realizations about turmeric, curcumin, and the turmerones, just in general, that plant, is the mental health benefits that it helps with anxiety, depression, which a lot of people don't have that on their radar. Do you want to elaborate a bit on that?
That's an excellent point, because when people think curcumin, they think inflammation.
Yep.
And it turns out that people who have depression and to some extent anxiety, also people that are starting to have cognitive changes associated with aging, have higher levels of both inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain.
Yeah.
Also, even in Parkinson's disease, one of the hallmarks of Parkinson's disease is high levels of inflammation and cellular destruction in the substantia nigra, which is a part of the brain. Our curcumin has been shown to cross the blood brain barrier about 14 times better than regular curcumin. So it is particularly well suited to help get in the brain, reduce that inflammation so that the neurotransmitter levels can start to rebalance themselves, decrease that oxidative stress, decrease that oxidative damage that's occurring, and it can make a real difference. So the studies on depression, we have 4 on major depressive disorder,
Hmm.
one in comparison to fluoxetine, the generic of Prozac, and in every instance, it's worked as well as, but without the adverse effects. Now you don't take
That's
this
wild.
and it's not an immediate action. You need to
Yeah.
stay on it for at least 4 to 6 weeks, but it can make all the difference.
Which specific product would that be linked with?
Well, the study was done on our CuraMed
CuraMed.
750.
Okay.
CuraMed 750 twice daily. That was the dosage. So the CuraMed
Unbelievable.
750 twice daily.
I didn't know
However,
this.
we also have a product that combines our CuraMed with saffron, which is also an excellent ingredient to help people that are struggling with mood disorders or with depression. And that one has been an incredibly popular choice as well.
I didn't know that Terry Naturally, what EuroPharma, that you have a study against fluoxetine. That's phenomenal. That's really cool to know about. So yeah, mental health benefits, pain, anti-cancer, like you said, it's hitting all three
It
prongs of
is.
aging,
Mm-hmm.
right? So one of those life extenders. You look at how high turmeric consumption is in India,
Mm-hmm.
and you can not it's not the only way that they're protecting dementia, but it's probably a key component if they're consuming that every day
Every
almost or
day.
multiple times a week. You think that's going to be having a role, right?
Absolutely. And I've been to India.
Really?
And
There you go.
when you in
Wow.
America, when you cook with turmeric, you get out your quarter teaspoon and you carefully measure it and you sprinkle it. And in India, the ladies just grab it by the
The
handful and
hand?
they throw it in the pot.
Oh my
So
God.
not if they're in a region of India that consumes a lot of turmeric, they don't consume it by the quarter teaspoon. And so,
Right.
of course, it confers health benefits if you've eaten
No
this all your
question.
life. Absolutely, it helps. We have 30 times lower rate of colorectal cancer in India than in the United States. Incredibly lower rates of Alzheimer's disease, even age adjusted, than in the United States. So there's lots of reasons why we can incorporate some of these herbals and live our best lives.
Amazing, Cheryl. Episode 28 and your first time, basically episode one with EuroPharma Terry Naturally. So I want to thank you for your time and how amazing you've been, even with the radio. You're so consistent. You've been with us all these years. So thank you so much, Cheryl.
You bet. Thank you so much for all you do to get quality
Uh,
information about natural supplements out to people.
well,
Thank you.
we're a team.
All
So I can't wait to
right.
talk to you next time, Cheryl. Have a
you
good
you
one.
you too. Bye.
Thanks.